back to another episode of the Higher Level podcast. So no James Dillon tonight, but we have got a few guests coming on. So at the moment we've got Lorenzo Parente and Sean Clancy Jr. on, just to talk about the year that has just been 2022, and maybe looking forward to the future a wee bit and see how you see things going in 2023. So Lorenzo, obviously, you've joined Higher Level over the last year. I just want to get you, what's your experience been like since coming into the gym? Obviously, you've been about the Scottish amateur scene for a while. You've moved over to Higher Level. What's that experience been like for you?
It's been great, really, so far. I feel like I've progressed like leaps and bounds since I first moved. But when I first came, I just really had jiu-jitsu and boxing, really. But just putting it all together, like working in my wrestling, now my jiu-jitsu is even more better because I can rest people, I can take them down now, instead of like just like, I don't know, pulling guard or something like that, or getting like hit a strike and end up winning a fight on the ground. But now I can actually like merge off my striking, my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu together. So I feel like training with the boys here has been incredible. And
what's it like when you walk into a gym at a Higher Level? Because obviously it's probably the most successful gym in Scotland, and the other thing about Higher Level, where it differs from a lot of other gyms, is that there's good guys across the country everywhere. There's no question about that. But it's just the amount of bodies in Higher Level at that certain level we're all fighting at. How's that experience going in there, and just a day-to-day training with that many different people?
Right. At first, obviously, it's a wee bit intimidating. Again, you're walking into a room full of fighters, but like, I'm a fighter as well, so it's not as bad. Again, if I was a first timer or something, that'd be a lot more intimidating. But I knew a few people there as well before I joined, like Mark and Kier and stuff. So it's been great, and I feel like I've been like learning so much for them as well. Like, and seeing the work they put in, and makes me like work harder as well. It's like I'm on the same level as them. If you get me?
Aye, it's like that old iron sharpens iron, isn't it?
Aye.
And in terms of the fights you've had now coming out to Higher Level, things are obviously going really well for you. Looking back over the fights you've had out of the gym, have you been happy with your performance, and have you felt that progression from fight to fight?
Aye. I feel like I've progressed. I feel like I've progressed more in the gym, I'd say. Like, I've not actually had the chance to show it. Obviously, both my fights have been under a minute. Like, I've been just taking guys down and submitting them like easily. So I'd like to get a fight where I'm going 3 rounds, if you know what I mean. I want to get some competition. Like, if it's too easy, like, I don't feel like you learn as much. But I'm getting in and I'm getting the job done. I'm getting out like undamaged, unhurt. So it's
a catch-22 that though. But I mean, it's hard to complain when you're getting in there and finishing guys in under a minute. I mean, that's you doing some good work. But I totally get what you're saying. You want to get into the deeper rounds. You want to be tested. So I guess it gets to show the additional skills that you've progressed on since you joined the gym.
Yeah, especially when you're going into like turning pro and stuff like that. I want to get like the minutes in. I want to get like 3 rounds in. I want to have like not even a few words. I just want like a good technical fights, like beat guys and get the cage time in there. So like when I do go professional, it's not like I've just submitted everybody in like the first round. Like, I don't know, 3 fights and then I go professional and it's like, oh shit, like a 5-minute round, and I didn't sub them in the first 30 seconds or something. So I'd like to get some good cage time and good experience. So
something just when you mentioned about turning pro there, James had mentioned something to me, and I think it was actually on a previous show, that you were, when you joined the gym, you were kind of looking to go pro quickly. Has that changed then in your time there?
I always knew I wasn't going to go pro right away. Like, the plan was to join Higher Level and then eventually go pro, like get a few fights and then go pro. I think some people thought I was just coming to go pro right away. Yeah. But I knew in my mind, like I knew the level, Higher Level already. So, sorry. Sorry, my wee brother's sleeping.
That's all right.
But I've got my headphones on, so I'm talking about later. But where was I again?
So you were saying about you knew you weren't going to turn pro straight away when you joined Higher Level.
Yeah, and pretty much when I started training there, I already knew, like, at the level I was a wee wee bit away from turning pro. So
so it's progression then. And Sean, for you, 2022, another good year for you. You've had some really good experience this year as well, down at the IMAS. We'll obviously speak about the problems you're having at the moment. We just get people to fight you. But looking back over the year, I want to just focus on that IMAS for a minute, because what was that experience like for you?
It was class. It was a weird one because I'd never like went down south or something like that and then fought like as soon as I'd got there. It was even weirder because I had no idea who I was fighting when I was going down there prior. So I'd showed up, and then the first match they were like, all right, you're going to fight this guy. And then I was like, all right, cool. 2 hours, right, sorted. And then you would just like do whatever you were going to do, and then fight the guy practically straight away. So that was quite cool in the way that I didn't really have too much time to like research who I was fighting and stuff like that. So I just kind of had to go and fight. I did really enjoy it. I'd like to do something like that again, to be honest. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we're looking for. I think we're just going to look for another amateur fight, and I'm just going to go pro straight after. But the M's were pretty cool. I think that's the future of MMA, to be honest. Anyway.
It's definitely a great experience for guys getting down there for the reasons you've just said, and I know it's something James likes, and he likes to get you guys in it if possible. Was it IMAF? Did you get to fight Rowan Cocker? It's Crocker, isn't it?
Aye. I ended up. I fought him. So he was the guy that only found out that I was fighting him with 2 hours notice or something like that. But that was a weird one. I wasn't too happy about that. I just didn't perform well in that fight. Wasn't me at all. Even like thinking back to how I was feeling backstage and like the way I was reacting to things backstage, it just wasn't me. I would love to get that fight back. First thing I said to him as soon as the fight was done, I was like, that wasn't me, mate. Like, I'd love to get that fight back. So I've been asking, asked James a fair, been pestering him, fuck, to try and get that fight, mate, to be honest with you. But
hold on a minute. Are you allowed to swear on these things now? Are you old enough to
20, so I hope so.
Good. I'm just checking. I wasn't sure.
I apologise again, Mum. But so that just was not me. I did, looking back on the fight, I literally made, it just cringes me out because I know exactly what I should be doing in those situations. I was just doing the wrong thing, caught me off guard at the start, and then he got a bit ahead, so I was just trying to get that back really, really quickly and just making stupid mistakes, man. Like at one point in time, I got up on top of him and then just jump back for a gap. I was just doing stupid stuff, man. But lessons learned and won't happen again.
Well, at the end of the day, that's it. A lot of guys speak about losses and how they take more out of their losses than they do their wins at times. So, and at the end of the day, the amateur ranks, that is what it's about. It's not about winning every single fight. It's about gaining the right experience. And 2022 was a busy year for you as well, Sean. How many fights was it in 2022?
It was 4. That was what's cool about the IMAS as well. Obviously, I didn't perform at all in the first fight I had with him. I just did terribly. But so that gave me a wee bit of chip on my shoulder going into the next one. Learned a lot of myself then as well. So confidence wasn't shook because I know what I'm like. I know how good I am. So it was just about going and improving that. So I had a bit of chip on my shoulder. Rowan obviously went and decisioned that boy. Well, I don't even think I don't think he hit any of us, to be honest. But Rowan did that to that boy, so I wanted to go in and make it clear, like, this is what I'm like. That's how I fight. This is how good I am. That's how I perform.
Well, you certainly did that, and so 2022 was this has been your busiest year then?
Definitely.
Competition.
I like 2 times.
How's that been for you? Have you enjoyed that, just getting out there as much?
Oh, I loved it. It's so much easier that whenever I've not been as consistent fighting wise, it's never been because I've not been training or whatever. I've had probably twice the amount of training camps as I've had fights. I've had a ridiculous amount of training camps, and then for some reason or another, they've just ended up falling through. But this time I've been fortunate enough to, first of all, have the Emmas, second of all, have those 2 title fights. Getting myself into a position where I can actually have title fights and like call people out and stuff like that was quite cool. Call for my shots at the title and all that. So I think that definitely helped getting my name out there a wee bit better, getting a better record going for me, so that I can kind of throw my weight a wee bit and be like, here, I want a belt, and just basically call for more fights. Like, do you know what I mean?
Aye, and obviously we know you're James Lake's been posting trying to get you a fight. Is there a frustration to that? You just want to get a fight, but then you can't get. I know Mark Ewan had similar problems with getting matched up. Is it frustrating when you're ready to go, you want to go, but there's just nobody to go at?
Right, it's very frustrating, because at the end of the day, it's not like I want like my career to be as efficient as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if people are just shitting it, then they're shitting it. But it's holding me back in a way. Do you know what I mean as well?
Yeah.
So ideally, I just ask for a fight, somebody gives me it, and then I ask for another fight, somebody gives me another fight. But unfortunately, that's just not how it goes. So I will get somebody 25th of November. That's my birthday. 25th of February. One way or another, I'm going to end up getting a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be looking to be just as active as I was last year as well.
Brilliant. And Lorenzo, for you, looking forward, have you got anything that any goals or any dates you've got in mind when you want to get back out there? Is there any talks at the moment?
So I've got the 25th of March. I'm back in Wales fighting on Cage Warriors Academy, so I'm going to get that. I heard that the Almighty show's come back up to Scotland as well. I don't know if it will, but I heard it might come up this year, so I can get on that. I'd like to get this Cage Warriors fight another 1 or 2 fights, depending on how they go. I'd like to finish the year 2-0 as a professional. So I'd like to turn professional the end of summer, hopefully, and get 2 more fights and finish the year 2-0 as a pro. That's my goal.
And as for the Cage Warrior Academy shows, I mean, they seem like really good shows to get on. It's the one down in Wales is obviously Richard Shore puts that on, so that's definitely a really good show to be on.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any word on potential opponents for that yet?
I've got an opponent now. I knew I had that opponent pretty much right after I'd beat the boy in October. So I know I'm fighting on that. I've known for a couple of months. So
has that been announced yet?
It's been announced. I'm on the fight card. Me, Kunle, and Logan are on that.
And who is it you're fighting on that one?
Kane Darcy.
Brilliant.
He's for Jack Shore's gym.
So a relatively easy match up then. No, in terms of your fighting, but easier to be matched up against if he's out of Jack Shore's gym. And Almighty, hopefully they will come back to Scotland. Almighty are a good show. They seem to be one of the better regional shows that are out there. And Sean, same across for you then. Obviously we've got James is trying to get you an opponent for February. Going past that then, if you get matched up then, everything going well, is it straight into pro ranks then, and then looking for fights as a pro?
Aye, ideally. James says something about the next. It's just a matter of like what comes first. So if there's a really good opportunity in amateur, I'll probably take that. If the pro fight comes first, I'll take that. But I don't know if he was talking about like my next fight coming up or the one after that, or like if it mattered. But aye, I'm like 95% sure it's pro. I'd imagine it would be. That's what I'm looking to do anyway. I'm definitely going to have a couple of pro fights by the end of this year.
Yeah,
like 2 or something like that. Minimum.
That's definitely it. But 20 years old, that's time is definitely on your side there.
Yeah.
And do you think the pro ranks? Do you think it's going to make a difference in terms of matchmaking? Because it's trying to find somebody at a similar level to you at the pro ranks. So do you think it will change a bit easier to get fights at pro, or do you think you're just going to face the same difficulties early on?
What I've heard at the gym and stuff like that, for people like Mark Ewan and Dylan Took and stuff like that, they says that like they're finding it just as hard and stuff like that. Obviously, they've got more options, so they can fast track it if they want to. But it's hard to get people at a similar like record to you to like want to fight. You know what I mean? For obvious reasons, but hopefully I find all I can do is hope that people actually want to fight, or people at least say yes to fights. Ideally, yeah, I would hope so.
Let me get both your thoughts on that, because you do see it quite a lot. We see guys that get that, let's say, 6-0 record, but haven't took any risks at all in their fight. They're trying to get the numbers on their record to then go to a big show. But it seems to me like, I get you've taken some fights as a risk, but it seems to me in the longer term, eventually you may get into a big show. You may only be there for 1 or 2 fights, and then you're gone, and that opportunity's gone. What's your thoughts on that? Lorenzo, I'll let you jump in on that one first. Give me your thoughts on that type of route some guys take.
I just think you're a true fighter, if you're only fighting cans, man, just to get your record up. Eventually, you're going to face somebody in the UFC. You're going to get found out eventually. So I think it's not good. Like,
no, John, what do you think about it?
I actually talked to James about that the other day. A lot of these coaches will probably literally just be flinging these guys into pure bum fights just so that they can build their record up, get themselves into better promotions, and then their coach can take 10% of their purse. They're not actually looking to get world-class fighters out of these guys. They're just wanting money. It looks like that anyway, to be honest. But I don't see how anybody can say that it's anything else, because, as he says, if you end up in the UFC and you've fought Mr. 0-2 or Mr. 3-55 or whatever, then you come up against some Nurmagomedov, like he's going to smash your head in. You're not going to have came up against any sort of resilience. Do you know what I mean? It's just it's stupid and it's close-sighted, I think.
Aye, absolutely. And the other thing as well, looking about some of the shows, we obviously just had Mark on the Aries show, which looked really good out in France. You obviously got Bellator here, Cage Warriors, of course, but then seen things like guys get out to the PFL, get out to the UFC in South Africa. So for you guys looking at that, I mean, I know the UFC, for just about every fighter, that's the goal, that's where they're looking to get to. But it looks as though there's lots of options out there as a professional, and lots of opportunities to travel abroad and go and experience different things. Is that something that looks great? There's so many options out there for you and routes to go.
You only get in life, you want to experience as much as possible. I want to fight in all these different shows and just soak up all the experience I can. I want to fight in South Africa, I want to fight in France, I want to fight in just all these different places. I actually always wanted to fight in the cathedral, but that's I want to fight everywhere. I want to just soak up as much experience as I can, and then eventually, when the time's right, get to the big leagues and then take that bit there.
That's right. And Lorenzo, for you, looking round the options available to you?
Aye, definitely. Same as Sean, kind of. The routes that you have now, and it's growing. It's constantly, there's more and more promotions, there's more and more options. The UFC is also the end goal. That's the dream. You want to be a UFC champion, but you then need to go to the UFC now to get paid. Be financially secure now, so it's good. And I like seeing my teammates going in that path, so kind of follow in their footsteps. You know what I mean?
Aye. But you can't beat the old cold winter nights in Grangemouth or Linwood or come on. Stephen Folk shouting for the sidelines. That's what it's all about.
Aye.
But no, listen, guy, I'm not taking up too much more of your time. I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. And I think it's safe to say you've both had really good 2022s, and I think the 2023 is looking good for both of you. So thanks for coming on the show, and all the best going forward, lads.
Thank you, man. It's my pleasure.
So, Kunle, into 2023, just going to chat to you a wee bit about the year that's just gone. 2022, really, really good year for you in the cage. Some really fun experience. Competed at IMAF, some big wins as well, like Teddy Stringer. What was 2022 like for you? I mean, on the outside, it looked like a really, really successful year for you.
But it was actually a really good year. I had last year be fighting, especially like with the IMAFs, doing the 3 fights over the weekend and being to get the 3 wins as well over all good opponents. That was really good for me because before I stepped in the cage at IMAFs on the Friday, it's come up a year since my last fight. So that week I took a bit of time off just to like develop some heads, get better, and plus I just had a little one as well. James wanted me just to so obviously big change in that in my life, so just kind of take that time, then can like settle, then get back in there. So but it was for me as well because like my ranking at the time, like I knew like my ranking should have been bigger than what it was. At the point, like, I knew like my level I should have been way better. It was quite good for me because I think I went down there like I was like ranked like 162 or something like that in Houston Island. And obviously I went up against like Teddy on the first night, who was like ranked number 3rd, and they just did get that win to start with on the Friday night, just did like set me up for the rest of the competition.
Aye, and I mean, let's be completely honest about it. I think maybe out with the higher level gym and the people that know you, most people in that fight would have probably looked past and thought, right, Teddy Stringer, that's going to be a win for him. So you certainly, I mean, you showed everything that you're all about in that fight because Teddy's obviously really favoured down south, and again, that was a big. How big a win was that for you to get a win over an opponent like Teddy?
I was like, to be fair, it was a big win. It felt good for me, like trying to get my name out there as well. Because after I kind of beat Teddy, got my name out there, especially doing like in England. But personally as well, like before the fight, I knew I was more than capable of beat Teddy. Like just the quality and level of guys that actually were high level and stuff like that. I knew I was at that level to beat these guys and stuff. Just like a few, like I was making silly, stupid mistakes in that in my fights before. Then I took time off as well to work with Rob Therapy. I worked that, like just in my mindset to the way I could like, actually coaching fights, the way I was thinking about it and stuff. So all that really helped me. And like before I even done that comp, because I got a bad injury in my knee before that comp. So like most of my camp, always like I couldn't really wrestle, I couldn't kick, couldn't do much. I was just basically boxing and on the bike. But I still knew like just with my boxing skills alone, I could beat any one of them, which was like that was the game plan for the weekend, just like in the box and stuff at takedowns. So just in like just only 50% of my arsenal, I was still able to like, go down there and get the win, which was like showed me as well, like what I'm actually capable of do. Because 100% camping that behind me.
I mean, you had obviously coming into that, you've now on a 4-fight winning streak. You'd come off the back of some losses, and James said something about you. I don't know if this resonates. James said there was a noticeable difference in you last year. Is that obviously the birth of your first child? Does that change things for you, mate? Just the mentality you've got going into fights. Did you feel that?
Yeah, 100%. Like I felt it because I feel like I had my little girl and stuff like that. Like you want to do good for them. Like, you want to be somebody they're proud of as well. So like it wasn't just about me anymore as well. Like I want to like when I went down there, I wanted to bring the belt back home for her and stuff like that. Like even like through the fight camp, she was part of my big motivation all the way through it. Even like when I was working with Bob, like one of the things we worked on was just like when I was in the cage, just to like remember like the put my little girl's name was one of the things I was doing quite a lot when I was doing like on the walkthrough and that, just to make it thinking like that. That's what I'm doing for this 1 year for. I feel like me personally, like because it made me grow up as well a lot. So I because that like mature, or like took my training that a lot more seriously, took everything seriously, and even like I noticed myself as well as a big difference to have a little girl.
It definitely makes a change because you almost need to, you go through the rest of your life and you're kind of, it's just about yourself. Everybody's the same, you're a bit self-involved, but once that wee one comes in, it's like, right, shit, I need to put anything I'm thinking that needs to go secondary. So there's something really more important than you, and it definitely, I can only imagine the change it made.
There definitely is a massive change because even like before, maybe like I was going with friends and all that at the weekend, but now it's just basically training, walking Monday to Friday, then spend time a lot on the weekend, which is like keep me grounded, keep my head down as well.
Aye,
and
absolutely.
Just like focus on training.
Aye, and like I say, something James had said, he'd noticed a difference in you in the gym, and obviously that's shown in the fights you've had. And The IMAFs itself, I spoke to Sean Clancy earlier and we were speaking a wee bit about the IMAFs. It's an interesting, it's a really good setup, and I think it's definitely a route for a lot of amateurs to do, and I think it'll benefit them. Benefit people fighting on it. What's it like going down there knowing that you're going to have potentially multiple fights and you don't know who the opponents are going to be? So it is different than what would be a normal fight camp for you. How was the whole experience for you down there?
To be honest, I loved the whole experience down there. Like, I really enjoyed it because, like, you couldn't just train with James. It didn't matter what opponent I was getting any day of the week, any day that weekend, because we've got such a different, like, variety of fighters. Like, I feel well rounded anywhere. It doesn't matter what, like, with the training we go for James, I knew I was ready for anything at all. And then plus, I couldn't get in that fight in the 3 days there. I felt like what being Teddy, my confidence was going more in the cage, and I enjoyed that setup in amateur. Especially in amateur, you want to try and gain as much experience as possible. So instead of like doing the one fight camp, doing the camp and getting the one fight after 8 week camp, this match I managed to get 2 fights in that one weekend, which is a really big thing for me. So the amount of experience I gained because all 3 fights all went 3-3. So the amount of ring time, cage time and stuff like I gained that weekend was massive.
Yeah, I mean, getting into that, you're obviously confident in your own skills. You've you've made mistakes in the past and things. You've obviously grew and learnt for that. But coming out of it after getting the 3 wins down there, does that confidence level just to continue realising it's like, right, I'm as good as I know I can be?
Yeah, definitely. Like, because after lecture is obviously confidence is there in the gym and everything, but it's a different story I could get in there on that night. But just when I went in there, they showed me like, I can actually do this and I can compete with these guys because we're all top level guys that are all down there. And as well, because I even won that competition and I got the fight of the tournament as well. So that means actually it's cemented in my head as well. Like all the fighters that was there between Wales, Scotland, and Ireland, I was the best of all of them. That made that just meant to me like I should be one of the top guys in the UK, like the amateur.
And coming out of something like that as well, obviously the confidence is high, and you just like, I just want to get back in there. I want to just keep progressing. I want to keep moving forward.
Sorry, say that again. I've lost you.
Sorry, what I was saying, when you come out of the IMAS, obviously the confidence is through the roof. It's got to be, you must be on a high, on cloud 9. Is it just a case of then you're just eager to get back in there and just continue to progress?
I think pretty much. Like I've always I like fighting and I like being as active as possible. So as soon as the IMAF happened, we were back training straight away, back in the gym with the boys, and helping the other boys get ready for the fight. Then seen that on top title came up as well. It was coming up in September, so James that was the next thing to focus me to try and get that belt. The belt was something I've tried to get for a while, and then talk more quiet for a wee while. So as soon as that fight was finished, I seen that on top was coming, and just knew like, all right, that's my next thing to get in. Then just keep that momentum rolling.
It's one of the things though as well, the on top belt, because we've seen a lot of guys coming through. Not everybody, but a lot of guys that come through. It's almost like it shows that you're just moving on to that next level, because we've seen a lot of guys that fighting on top, they get belt and then you see them starting to move on to Cage Warriors and other places. Like Reece McHugh right now is a good example for that. So it's a really good thing to have in your resume, that on top belt space, especially if you're a Scottish-based fighter.
Yeah, definitely. Because I remember when I first started training, when I was training like Morton and stuff like that, going up, seeing like Turner and everything, fighting on top. Like for me, because like time on top was a big show. For me, it still is. It's a good belt to have. And like I've nagged this up with one of the highest belts you can have in Scotland, and MMA right now I'm now on top belt. So I think MTOS was a big show. So it's always something like I've wanted, and even just get a chance to go and fight is really good because after the IMAF comp, I couldn't actually get in the matchup. After when nobody really wanted to take it, so then luckily, but James and I had to go and fight a couple of boys in from France, from me and Becky Neal, get the match.
You've just said something there that seems to be a common theme at the minute with a lot of the guys at higher level, Sean Clancy, Mark Ewan. Matchups, just getting fights. How much a pain in the arse is that?
It is, because I think like people notice it with just the amount of talent that's up in that gym. And as well, like everybody in that gym wants to fight good people. They do want to bombs, and I feel like most of the guys that are actually good that we want to fight or try to pad their records and we want to like fight the guys and all that. So just friends, but then even though he didn't take the fights, we all still in the gym getting better and better. So for when somebody takes that fight, it just gives us more time to get better and keep progressing.
It's one of the things with the gym now. I mean, things are exciting at a higher level. There's so much talent coming through there. So you've got, obviously, Mark Hume right now is the example of guys coming through who's doing fantastic. But obviously yourself, Keir Harvey, Lorenzo Parente, Sean Clancy. I mean, I could keep going on, but what's it like training in the gym at the minute? Just the amount of talent, and all these are starting to move forward. Some are into pro now, others are on the verge of going pro, and you're starting to move into big shows and stuff like that. How exciting is it at the gym at the moment?
It's really exciting because the gym, like, we're all quite tight as well with each other. Everybody's all close, everybody gets on well in the gym. It's just that way as well because like people are moving on. You see like all the boys going to big shows and that, so it's getting those motivations to get on there. And it's like like Kieran now going Bellator, Matt going to tennis, Stevie came back to the PFL. Like they've blown the doors wide open for us guys in amateur coming up there, especially for me because I'm going to go pro at the end of the year. Just seeing those guys who all these shows, it gave me like all these ideas. All right, I can just go to the opportunity to go there and go there and go there because like all these guys now are bringing such a big spotlight to the gym.
Yeah,
so, like promoters and stuff like that. There's so much promoters going there looking for fighters in the gym, which is great.
It's something probably a lot of folk don't look at, but you look at Stevie's success in PFL, that has definitely opened the door there. James has spoken about the fact that PFL are looking at guys now. You've obviously got Aries, who looks like that looks like a fantastic show as well. Cage Warriors, Bellator. So there's so many avenues for you guys now. Obviously, everybody wants to ultimately end up in the UFC, but there's so many avenues, opportunities to earn good money, to travel to different places. It seems like it's a good time to be a higher level fighter.
Definitely, it's a good time. But that's the thing as well. Like a lot of guys have came up, but a lot of guys just can't handle it when they get to the gym because there's that much talent. It's just something which what James has built over years and years. With that was like the standards James Paul McDaniel that set back in the day, like Stevie, Dale, and Tony and all that set for us. We just following the same footsteps for them.
It certainly is. There's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and time went into the success that's happening at the gym at the minute. And High Level's always been a successful gym. If you look at the guys who came before these and the guys who are obviously still active, like Stevie, Danny Henry, and stuff like that. So, for you, 2023, is that looking like an exciting year? You're going to continue that journey in fatherhood and get to experience all the highs and all the lows that comes with that. But MMA-wise, everything's looking good as well.
Everything's good. I've got time for the Cage Warrior Academy up in March, so that's me just basically starting the fight camp now. So getting my head down, getting ready for that. Then as well after that fight, I'm going to take a little one away for a little holiday in that in the summer to get to do all that. So but what a good fight coming up this year for sure.
Brilliant, and that's perfect, Kunle. I'll not keep you any longer. I know you're no long in for work and training, busy man, working. But I look forward to seeing what 2023 brings for you, mate.
Aye, man.
Thanks as always for the time, bud.
No worries, man. Cheers for having me.